Did you see that? I saw that. Don't forget to duck.
I actually had to duck that. Okay, everybody. This review is a bit delayed because I was thinking I was having mechanical issues. If you don't care, I'll put time to skip to on screen, but I'll explain. Okay. I have this weird light switch in my house. This shuts off all the power in this room. I have no idea why. They thought that was a good idea to implement. It makes the TV not work. It makes the outlets not work. Hence, I thought he was, I feared the worst. Anyways. Here is my review of Buzzsaw. Very cool animatronic. I like it a lot. 2021 wasn't the best year ever. It had some solid ones. I think this one was definitely the best of the lineup, though. My biggest complaint, before I get into it, he had literally no blood on him. That makes no sense. He has a gigantic saw on his arm. He needs to have blood on him. So, as you can see, I just took some fake blood and I took a paintbrush and I slapped it on there. Anyways, another review. This guy's motion, it's really, really good. He goes side to side, obviously, which looks decent enough. Now this saw though, I really like this. It looks really good when it spins, and his mouth movement is pretty good also, especially when you oil him. Because the thing about this guy, I don't know if it's just mine or if it's a common problem, but he kind of needs to get oiled a lot. Like, I'll have to take a couple drops of some lubricant and drop it into his face, which is, the motor is really accessible. So his face is like, here, this entire part is just empty and flat until you get to this part, and this is all sculpted and stuff. But in here, it's just a little cavern, as you can see if I push it in there, and the mouth is accessible on the other side, which makes it really easy to add oil to. Some are damn near impossible, so if the mouth is having problems, you have to tear the entire face off, which might ruin it. He is latex, so it looks really good. I don't know why people hate latex so much. Actually, that's not true. So the reason why people hate latex is because it rots over time, but if you keep it in good conditions, it'll definitely last well over 10 years, like anywhere from probably up to 20 years. The reason why it rots is because it's latex is mostly water, so when it's in a solid state, even though it is solid, it will still evaporate, which causes it to crack since it's missing its main ingredient, and it gets all crumbly and it tears easier. Which does happen with age, but it only really cracks after like 15-20 years, so I don't think the electronics in these things are going to last that long anyways. And we don't even have any animatronics. Actually, so an example of this would be like Chin Up Zombie, which came out in 2007, and most of those are cracked by now, but they don't look like trash yet. Like, they don't look like garbage, because a lot of people kept them in good condition. So I think the latex thing is kind of stupid. Anyways, there's my little rant. But back to this guy. His animation is really good. He's got 3, which is really good for his price, which was $280. I'm not sure what it is now, but I'll get into it in the should you buy it section. So for motion, I don't really have any complaints. Like, I guess they could have made this arm move too, but he would probably be $350 if they did that, so I'm kind of glad they didn't. So he's already enormous anyway, so adding that motion would be kind of a problem. This guy is probably wider than he is tall. Like, from there to there is like 7 feet. His wingspan is gigantic, and then he's just built like giant and bulky. And he's pretty tall too. He's 6 feet, I think, even. So yeah. So for motion, this guy gets a 10 out of 10. Now talk about his design. So his design is pretty good. I feel like it could have been better. First of all, it needs a lot more blood, which I added myself. Also on the saw blade, which I didn't add because it won't stick. And also on his face, I think could have used more blood, especially all these stitches and stuff. I feel like it's just like he's got giant chunks. Look at this. He's got a chunk of his face missing right here, and there's no blood. I do appreciate that. I do think that definitely counts as gore. I just feel like they kind of went easy with that. As for the other parts, I don't really have any complaints with the design. I think they could have added something other than just overalls and an undershirt. The overalls do look pretty good, and I like this little pocket here. It's not super useful, but I just put a bunch of little body parts in here because I felt like his gore is lackluster. So I put some body parts in there just for fun. Because this guy definitely collects them. Look at his face. Look at his hand. I actually didn't realize that I covered a lot of details in the design portion, and that boosted his score. So just for his basic design, it's a little silly, but I like it. So I'll give him an 8 out of 10. Now for the details. Anyways, so the Buzzsaw itself actually looks really nice. Of course, I would have loved to see more blood on it. But I do like kind of how they added some paint to make it look kind of rusted, like not super clean. It doesn't look really rusty. I mean, it certainly like adds some detail. And the saw itself is like all grainy and stuff with little chips missing, which I think is really cool. And they're not all perfectly even on the blades, which is neat also. And on the mallet, there's a bunch of chunks missing from the wood because he's like slammed it on so much stuff and it's all aged now, which I think looks really cool. And then also back to his face. His face looks really cool. He's got this like eye black stuff, or like I don't know what it's like, supposed to be eye shot or something. I don't know. I don't know why he has it, but it makes him look creepier. And then with all the cuts in his face, looks really nice too. Yeah, my only real complaint is like probably just that. I mean that there's no blood. And I mean, I also could have been cool if his clothes are more torn than they are, since he operates a buzzsaw and clearly isn't very intelligent. Really wide hip rings, so he's like big and fat. I think it looks pretty good, and it's kind of a fun change of taste from all these really like frail-looking props. We get something like big and huge. It makes him like honestly, it makes him scarier. Okay, being all gigantic. And then also for details, these little look nice. His shoes are really nice looking. Like his shoes look like real shoes from a distance until you get close to the plastic. But other than also, I mean, I like how the stains on them. I just don't know what the hell they're supposed to be, like oil stains or something. Because of the buzzsaw, I don't know why does he not have blood on him. That's just my biggest problem with the details. But everything else is good, so I'm gonna give him my 9 out of 10. His setup, which is actually really fun. Like I'm being serious, his setup is fun. There's not really anything wrong with it. I like putting in the big old hip rings, and his pants are super easy to put on. You don't have to thread them through a million different things. And then his arms are really easy to put on because his arms are actually in 2 segments. So I have no complaints with the setup. It's really good also. So 10 out of 10 for setup. Now for the last category, which if you've seen my previous review videos, oh my gosh, bro, what the hell was that? For the last category, which you've seen, for my last category, which if you have seen my previous review videos, you may speculate to be price, in which you would have been correct. The 2 of you that have watched any of my review videos, they're flopping so hard, but I'm trying, okay? I have changed it because I feel the price isn't very fair to justify whether or not it's a good animatronic. So I've changed it to voice lines because I feel like that's also super important. So for his phrases, I'm just gonna give you a couple of them. I'll put them on.
Just can't scratch. Here, let me help you with that. Think fast. You have to be faster than that. You need to be cut down to size. Looks like you need a little training. If you're a tough there, you'll be perfect in no time. I've got a hammer, and I hammer in the evening all over this place. Did you see that? I saw that. Don't forget to duck, or you'll be a dead duck. You ever have an itch that you just can't scratch? Here, let me help you with that.
Phrases are a mixed bag. Some of them I really like, some of them I despise. Some of them are absolutely terrible. I'll start with the bad ones. So the hammer one, I got a hammer and I hammer in the evening. That makes no sense. It's really stupid. And it's the only one that doesn't even fire up the buzzsaw, which is the coolest part about this guy. So that one is atrocious. I think he has 7 phrases. I'm pretty sure. I'll put a number on screen if I'm wrong, but if I'm right, then I'm not. That one's really dumb though. The duck one, I feel like is really goofy. I don't know how much. I don't know if I'm kind of indifferent about it. Like it's really dumb, but it's like kind of fits with the character. I just think it's really stupid though. It's not scary at all. Now the ones that I do like though, I really like the one that's looks like you need a little trimming, because that one, the buzzsaw goes for a really long time on that one. Like the buzzsaw goes from like anywhere from 0, like doesn't activate at all, to the entire activation. That is one of them that does it the entire activation, and I think that is probably the best one. I mean, it's silly. It's kind of silly, but it's like menacing, right? Like this guy is gonna chop you to pieces with a buzzsaw. I like that one. Did you see that? I saw that. That one's really stupid too. Some of them are good, but some of them are really bad. So for phrases, I'm gonna give them 5 out of 10. Some of them are really good, but some of them are just really weak. So I feel like if they had better phrases, this guy would be A+. This is really a good animatronic. But if they just had blood and more phrases, this guy would be A+. That's all they needed to add, really. And now for the final category, should you buy it? I'm gonna go check eBay real quick to find out the current estimated value. So I forgot, they still have some in stock on the website. They did bump up his price though from his original price of $280, which is a really good price for this guy, up to $300, which is not very good, but it's okay. It's only a $20 increase. It's not huge. So should you buy him for $300? I think he's a pretty good buy. If you have a space for him, I mean, he's kind of specific. I use him in my like little murder room thing. I don't know what the hell it's supposed to be called, but where I have a bunch of mangled body parts, and I have death row, and I got some other stuff. I got a bunch of body parts and stuff, blood, whatever. If you don't have a place for him, like, I don't know, he's not that rare yet. So he doesn't get the coolness factor of him being super unique and nobody having him. I feel like once he goes off sale, though, his price is immediately going to jump to like $350, because there are drop shippers who have been selling him for between $350 and $500. Okay, so a bit of a sorry, I got interrupted. Anyways, so should you buy him? $300 is a reasonable price. I think if you really like him, I like him. I think you might like him if you buy him. So I think it's worth it. I think if you're watching this a year or two from now, it'll probably, I'm gonna guess anywhere from $350 to $425 in like 2 years from now. Which I think is still kind of expensive, but if you can find him under $300, he's definitely worth it. So yeah, that's my review. Buzzsaw, pretty cool. Another one down.